You know, I'm here in my apartment. Well, it's still my apartment. Hold on, let me put this stuff in the oven while I'm... There. Okay. If you're wondering how I turn the oven on when I'm blind, I know which knob the oven is. First of all, because it does have a Braille label on it. And then I know which way to turn it. In fact, I had to turn it a few times because I overturned it once and it was like halfway between one setting and the other. I could tell that based on the position of the knob. Anyway, I stand here in my apartment. Well, it's still my apartment. And I mean, I'm renting it, so it's my apartment, such as anything that you don't actually own and you're paying to call it yours ever is yours. And I think about the place I've been in this whole scenario. I found out on November 4th that the building that I'm living in is scheduled for mass renovation in September of 2022. And when I try to imagine living within an active construction site, constantly changing environments, and moving potentially more than once to accommodate what's happening in my building and them actually doing work in my unit, and then potentially once the work is done in my unit, rather than just letting me go back to my place. I don't know why they wouldn't just let me go back to my place. In fact, that's actually one of the questions that I have for the apartment manager. No, I will not be vlogging, audio vlogging, whatever you would call it, that meeting. The most you might get is like some notes afterward, if I even choose to share that. But that is one of the questions I want to ask her. Once the work is done in my unit, why can't I just move back? Why would you potentially move me multiple times to multiple different units? And are you potentially moving me multiple times to multiple units? Or is that a potential, but really you're not going to? You're going to acknowledge that, okay, you lived in this unit, we're now done fixing this unit, you may now move back. I think that's what my aunt is expecting, and they might take a month in this unit, and once that's over with, I can go back into my original unit and it'll be over with. If it was as simple as that, maybe I would just say, okay, I'll move in with my aunt and I'll live here for another 5 years, because really I'm not miserable here. I mean, far from it. I mean, there are things that I wish were different, but as of right now, it's really not a bad place. As I think about expanding and evolving and the ANV of 2030, 2040, even 2028 for all we know. She needs more space than this 500 square foot apartment can give her to evolve and build her business and, well, as one of my life coaches calls it, live her heart unleashed. Her heart has been leashed up to quite the extent for a long period of time. I talked about that last time. She had to conform to people, and even when she was outside of their influence, it took her a long time to figure out who the real her is. And she's still, to some extent, in that process. And hold on, I'm completely not paying any attention to my food. Let me set a timer and do some things that are conducive to having food prepared, and I'll come back to you. All right, where was I? It's taken me a long time to figure out who the real me is, as opposed to the me that certain people wanted me to be and they're never going to love me for the real me, so I'm just going to have to let them be and live my own life. That's why there's so many miles between us. Even the ones that there aren't very many miles between. Never mind, I'm not going to talk about all that. The point is, as I seek to live my heart unleashed, I need more room to live and grow and play and evolve and expand and add to my life, my business, my happiest reality than this little 500 square foot, one bedroom in a 6-story apartment building is going to be able to give me. However, is now the time to move? Well, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. The most influential people in my life to this day have it that it is not. I'm in a perfect place now. It might be my perfect place for the rest of my life. Well, they don't understand what my dreams are. Even if they did, their opinion might never change. But here's the bottom line. If this construction wasn't happening, I might not be so compelled to move quickly. I might say, okay, in my 5 or 10 year plan, I'm moving. Maybe not before 5 years, but I'm moving. As it is, I have 9-10 months before they tear this building apart. And as they tear this building apart and put it back together and recreate it and do everything they're going to do, I, as a totally blind and orientationally impaired person, in other words, I, as a person who has no vision whatsoever and who has a very limited ability to keep track of where she is and how to get where she needs to go, and cannot spontaneously change as far as, oh shit, there's a ladder or there's a big bunch of construction or the whole area is blocked off. It's okay, I'll go around the other way. Well, it's not that easy for me. I don't know. Going around the other way and figuring out how to go the other way and still get to where I need to go is, let's just call it like it is, not possible for me. I need someone to give me their elbow and walk me to where I need to go if the way I know how to get to where I need to go is blocked off. And somehow I don't expect the apartment manager to be prepared to give me that. And God knows I don't have it like built in. This is almost 2022, not 2522, when I have the technology at my disposal, or I have the ability to order technology between now and then, where I'll be able to say, computer, activate visual assisted holographic program. And this person that looks and feels and talks like a person, but they're made of computer chips and light, materializes in front of me or next to me and says, hello, Anne, how can I help you today? And I say, give me your elbow and walk me around all this shit, and here's where I need to end up. Take me there, Assistant Lightman. And have him, her, it, holographic assistant do what I need him, her, them, it to do. That's a glorious Star Trek type future that I would love to live in. That's not the reality that we live in. There is no such thing as a visual assistive holographic program. The closest we get are those pain in the butt things that you call on the phone and you're trying to talk to a human being, but they don't understand you. They don't know how to connect you with a human being, or if they do, there's a secret code that you have to say or secret words that you have to say, and you don't know how to say it, and yeah, the customer service holographic programs that we have nowadays really, really need some work. Anyway, for lack of a visual assistant lightman, I really have a hard time being okay with the idea of living within a construction site and navigating around all that crap, and it's just inconvenient all around. I just would like to be out of here before this whole mess starts. But that means I've got 9-10 months to find another place to live, which is an overwhelming prospect, and a prospect that I am not getting a lot of support locally for. The family that lives around me can't imagine where or how I could possibly find a place that is what I want for what I can afford in a decent neighborhood. And they might be right, but I'm not willing to concede that yet, so I need to find people that can actually imagine my dreams coming true and work with them. I'm trying to speak people into existence that I have no idea who or where they are, but yeah, I'm practicing what I'm learning from life coaches that is really foreign to me. This is not what I was taught when most people learn things, like as a child, as a teenager. But what I was taught as a child and a teenager was nothing like what I'm being taught now, what I'm allowing myself to be taught. And therefore, it's kind of hard for me to... It's not coming naturally to me, but I am open to trying it, practicing it. We are 25 days away from a whole new year beginning, and I'm open to all kinds of possibilities in the new year. And the people I'm most familiar with and what I've been taught is to stay limited, stay where you are, force it to work even if it doesn't feel like something I want to make work. Make it work because it's all you have. I'm no longer willing to collapse into that reality and say, well, that's all I have. That's just the shitty life I've been dealt. First of all, maybe it's not that shitty, but second of all, it's not the best and like everything I want either. There's no reason I shouldn't seek out the best and everything I want. And one of the things that is going to mean is moving out of here. So as this meeting with the apartment manager gets closer, we were supposed to have a meeting with the apartment manager a couple of weeks ago, but she had something come up, and apparently calling me and informing me of that wasn't in the cards. So we showed up and she didn't, and that was then, and this week is now, and she's going to show up for this one, and I'm going to have my questions ready, and I am going to try to have an open mind, because it may end up having to be in the 5-10 year plan that I move as opposed to right now. So in case that's the case, how are we going to make it work? That's how maybe I should be looking at this. But I also think that maybe my relative who's going to be coming with me to this meeting might also have something to be set straight on. I mean, I suspect she thinks, well, this will last a month and then it'll be over with. Or this isn't the big deal that Anne thinks it is. Or, you know, she might think all kinds of things that the apartment manager... Yeah, okay, maybe the apartment manager needs to set me straight on some things. But I think she also needs to set my relatives straight on some things. Like, no, this is not going to last a month. This is going to last 3, 6, 10 months, a year, you know. I don't know how long a construction project of this nature is going to last. But I do know that I was told about another building that's undergoing a similar renovation, and it started 3 months ago and it's still not over. So, yeah, the idea that this is just quickly going to end or going to happen anything similar to the timetable we would like it to happen in is a notion that we just need to let go of, because it's probably not going to happen. Not from a purely realistic standpoint. Realism versus what we'd like to happen. That's something I'll be wrestling with for a while, probably, as I practice some of what I'm being taught, because, like I say, it's there are such differences. But I'm open to the idea that maybe the differences can be, maybe the gaps can be bridged, and what you would think wouldn't be possible might be possible. Okay. Once I edit down this 20-minute long rambling session, and I hope I make some amount of sense when I go back and once I've gone back and edited this and you're hearing it now, I hope this is making sense. Okay, after editing this down, this is about half of a 30-minute long file. This is not necessarily going to be 30 minutes long, however, it can't be any more than 30 minutes long because I'm using Tunes to Tube, and I think you can make longer files or longer YouTube videos using Tunes to Tube, but you'd have to pay to do it, and I'm too cheap-ass for that. At least as of now. Maybe I should go ahead and pay for it, but as of right now, that's not going to work. There's things that I'm willing to pay for, and then there's things that it's like, okay, no, I need to make do with this. See, I'm not against making everything work, but some things are just not good enough. Or they have been good enough for a good long time, but they're no longer good enough. Anyway, this is like, 16, 17 minutes. What I think I'm going to do at this point is transport us through the magic of editing to Thursday. It's Sunday as I record this. The meeting is on Thursday, if all goes as planned. I'll take us to after the meeting and summarize what happened. Okay, it's Thursday afternoon. The meeting did happen, and I think certain relatives of mine might have wished that this meeting, this conversation with the apartment manager, would have resulted in my just completely putting to rest this idea of moving. That didn't happen. I'm still thinking I might want to move. I mean, it'd be great if I could find a place to move to before all this started. But I'm feeling better about the prospect of not being able to move before this whole thing starts. Because it is reassuring to know that there's, I guess, a team of people whose job it is to make this as tolerable as possible. Some of the questions got answered. I'm feeling better about the idea of having to live within this active construction site. At least it's someone's job to make sure that I'm accommodated. However, I'm still not crazy about that idea, and I'm still going to be actively searching for a different place. But at least if I don't find it, the idea of having to live here with this construction happening is at least a little bit more, I've gone from like 100% resistance to maybe 80% resistance. I mean, I'm still not crazy about the idea, but I'm warming up to it a little bit because I know that I'm not going to be just left in this new circumstance with no one thinking about my needs at all. But I think I'm still going to call case managers and start or continue the search. I've done some really preliminary tiny things to start the search. I think it's time to get a plan. I mean, I need to make a plan for a lot of things. How to search for a new place and seek out a new place. How to actually up-level my businesses. They're doing something for me, but I need them to do more if I'm going to build this life I want where I work from home. First of all, I need a home where I can build that in. Well, on that note, I'm going to end this. Thank you for listening. Please like, subscribe if you want, and you'll hear me in the next video. I won't see you in any of these videos. You'll see me in the next video in the sense that you'll see probably this picture, or you'll see a screwy iPhone picture that has no aim, has no, whatever. I have no basis on which to aim the. Yeah, anyway. You'll hear me in the next video. Thank you for watching. Check out Aira, check out Shipped, and you'll hear me in the next video. Bye.